ridiculous. We are disgustingly biased when it comes to this issue. Look at how many airtime Netanyahu and his folks have on air on a daily basis. Andrea Mitchell and others. I never seen one Palestinian being interviewed on these same issues.
Well, I'll push back on that a little. We've had Palestinian
maybe for 30 seconds, and then you have 25 minutes for Bibi Netanyahu and half an hour for Naftali Bennett and many others. Listen, the Ayman Mohyeldin story. Let's talk about this. We are home and we can discuss this. Ayman Mohyeldin is covering the Palestinian sides, and we get upset. It's too pro-Palestinian. We don't like it. We push him back, and thanks for social media that brought him in. Let's talk about these issues.
Point taken, but doesn't it reveal equally our thinking that we now have Ayman Mohyeldin on air, and I think there's been very fair and balanced
coverage. Thanks to social media, and thanks for the pushback from the public opinion. And I'm not saying that everybody's like this, but it's 1/10 is giving to the Palestinian voice and 99% to the Israeli voice, and that's why the public opinion is pro-Israeli, which is the opposite in the rest of the world.
Shortly after the interview, Jebreal tweeted, quote, "My forthcoming TV appearances have been cancelled. Is there a link between my expose and the cancellation?"
I decided to speak on my own network because we are liberal Democrats, and part of the debate of any media in the liberal democratic landscape is to discuss our own flaws as well as others, not only Bridgegate but also Mediagate, I would say, and media scandal regarding the bias covering of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And I looked at studies, and the studies that were made by many scholars, respected American scholars, Juan Cole and others, who are referring to the covering of the media, how much airtime is giving to the Israeli officials and how much airtime is giving to the Palestinian official. And it's a U.S. landscape that is so biased. So, for example, in 2012, you had on CNN alone 45 Israeli officials interviewed versus 11 Palestinians. And when it comes to this conflict today, in 2014, you have 17 Israeli politicians, official interviewed, versus 1 Palestinian. So we are going backwards regarding this issue. And that forms and shapes the public opinion in America that then transfer and become political support unconditional to Israel, to a policy that is very destructive both to the Israelis and to American stands in the world and their credibility.
Were you the only Palestinian consultant or contributor on MSNBC?
Absolutely, yes.
So what happened after your appearance on Ronan Farrow, where you said what you said, criticizing their coverage?
I just received emails of cancellation, and I asked a question about whether these cancellations are related to what I said earlier. I never had any. Tried to call the producers, and nobody answered the phone. Then I tweeted what I tweeted, and immediately there was a social media uproar. I understood. Listen, I worked in Egypt. I was kicked out of the country because I interviewed Amr Sulaiman, the head of Secret Service. I asked him about torturing. I interviewed Silvio Berlusconi in Italy. I'm accustomed with this. When I pushed Silvio Berlusconi on corruption and scandals, my TV show was shut down. I'm accustomed to this. I did not, with all honesty, expect this from us liberal media and us who are advocating going out saying we tell the truth and we cover this in an unbiased way. I did not expect that.